you had not gotten it 3 times. It hurt. And what was the catalyst that pushed you to try one more time?
Because I really wanted to be CEO. That was why I finished my MBA. I wrote it down, envisioned it, strategized how I'm going to get it. So when I open up, yes, I'm going to apply. Yes, I'm going to incorporate all that I've learned from being there for 30 some years, but also what can I do to take it to another level?
What if leadership wasn't about being first, but about lifting others as you rise? For Laura Penney, that's more than a philosophy, it's a legacy in motion. Raised on the Coeur Reservation, her father, who served as a lifelong tribal leader, always told Laura from a young age that she was destined to lead. But destiny doesn't guarantee a straight path. It took 4 tries, an MBA, and an unwavering confidence team to become the CEO of the Coeur d'Alene Tribe Casino and Resort. Today, she's not just a business leader, she's a champion for her community, a mentor to the next generation of tribal professionals, and a living example of what it means to lead with heart. In this episode, Laura shares how cultural roots, resilience, and a refusal to give up shaped her into the outstanding leader she is today, here on Navigating No. Laura, thank you so much for being here today. It is an honor to have you at the seat across from me and for you to be willing to come and share your story. And I am so excited, so thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Oh, look at that. I wish I had a reply to that other than good morning to you too.
It's great to be here.
Well, you and I actually met as I was speaking at a conference, and you were the CEO of Coeur d'Alene Casino and Resort, and you were like, that message resonates so much with all of our team members and our managers, and you brought me in to speak. But we hit it off right away. And I loved that it's very difficult sometimes in the audience. People don't like to ask questions, but you had questions. And your question to me was how to deal with someone that may come back at you as an employee who might say something like, well, it's only about the money, or it's only about this. And it really hit me emotionally because so many people are going through that. And as a leader and as a CEO, those are those problems. And it was just like that question really hit home with me. And I brought it home as a table topic to talk to my family. And I love having conversations with people and people that I look up to. And you are one of those people. And so what you're doing for the community and for the tribe and for Spokane and for Coeur d'Alene is just amazing. And so thank you for being a part of this. And I'm really looking forward to diving in today.
Thank you so much. Yes, being CEO, there's so many challenges. And the biggest challenge is just to motivate people and to be supportive of people. Mm-hmm. And so it was very discouraging to hear from an employee that I'm just here, just to make for the paycheck. And that just broke my heart. Yeah. And I just thought, okay, we're failing. What can I do to motivate? What can we do to motivate our employees? Those frontline employees, you never know what people are going through. And they're frontline employees and they may be struggling financially, spiritually, emotionally. Mm-hmm. We don't know that. And so to ask of them to come in and provide what we call our welcome home service, mm-hmm. Smiling and just accommodating and providing an overall great experience for our guests. Mm-hmm. Is challenging at times. Mm-hmm. So how do we help them and how do we support them and provide a healthy, fun, fulfilling workplace?
Well, not only for your employees, but for the customers who come in,
yes,
right? And so it's
yes.
like, because it can be both sides where everybody's enjoying and having a good time because you want employees to come in and want to be at work.
Yes.
Right. And
yes.
and also to be able to share that optimism around. And so
yes.
that is a difficult situation. What have you found has worked really well for you stepping into the CEO position? Like, was that an easy transition for you? I mean, we're diving right into the nitty gritty of being
yes.
the leader, but it's like let's get into your story first about how you became the CEO. And like when you were a young woman, did you always want to be a leader, or what was that transition like? What did that path look like for you?
Oh, and yes, thanks, Blue, for allowing me to share my story. And people they like to hear stories.
Yeah.
And I do have my own personal story. I also have a casino story as well. So I appreciate the ability to be able to share. As a Coeur d'Alene tribal member, I truly believe that it is so important that any opportunity that we take to share our story as to who we are as Coeur d'Alene tribe, as the Coeur d'Alene tribe, and what are we going through? And many people think that we don't exist as Native Americans, and which is shocking to hear.
Absolutely.
But so I think any opportunity just to share that we are indeed here, we are thriving, we do have struggles, and what are we doing, and why are we doing what we're doing? And so it's so important for us to share that story. So I grew up on the Coeur d'Alene Reservation. And my father is a lifetime tribal leader. He currently is serving on our tribal council and has done so since I was in high school, I think.
Really?
So I grew up in a home to where, it was instilled in me to work for the tribe, to be there for the tribe, to take care of the tribe. And my father just instilled that in me and really told me almost every day, you need to go away, go to school, and come back and take care of your people. And so that was instilled in me. And fortunately, I went to Coeur d'Alene Tribal, a grade school, and that was instilled in all of us, that we're here. There's a purpose for us, and to celebrate our culture and our identity, and to go out there and be productive people and thrive, and all the while embracing your culture and your identity. So that was just a beautiful message that was instilled in all of us. And
was that the tribe and your family, or was it? It was both. It was everybody.
Both.
Okay, so you were getting it from all sides.
Yes, and as I said, my father, he served on our Coeur d'Alene Tribal Council. My mother is just an active member. My grandmother, she really embraced the church and teachings. And then we went to powwows. We even practiced dancing and drumming and my beading. And just going out and just enjoying our environment, both culturally, but also the great outdoors as well.
Absolutely.
As you know, we live in such a beautiful country.
Yes.
And we always went up in the mountains and picked berries, and we went fishing. My father went hunting. I couldn't go hunting with him. He stopped taking me after I begged him not to shoot that, the deer with the big eyelashes.
Yeah.
And yes, so I wasn't allowed to go hunting. But, we just thoroughly enjoyed our land and really appreciated the beauty of our lands.
Well, and not only that, but it's like we're very lucky and blessed to be where we are in the Pacific Northwest. And Coeur d'Alene and Idaho is just gorgeous. And like you, I grew up and we had a cabin and we were able to go pick huckleberries, which basically meant that I had a little cup and I could maybe pick a few huckleberries because they're so hard to collect. But the memories that I have just being out in the outdoors was just amazing. And so a lot of people, especially in the States, don't have that opportunity. And so for you to have that is just amazing. And I feel blessed that I was able to experience that as well.
And, growing up, the teachers at the tribal school, they told us that you're going to be someone. You're going to be a leader. You're going to get out there and help the tribe.
Everyone, or just you? Did you feel that they were talking just directly to you, or do you think all of your classmates and everyone that you were growing up with felt the same way?
Fortunately, the school provided that culture, that environment, just to really nurture the children. And there were not only Coeur d'Alene tribal children there, but also non-Indians there as well. So it was a very nurturing environment. And so now I really do appreciate that, looking back, that we were very fortunate to have that environment and to where they're just nurturing us, taking care of us, and supporting us all the while. And to this day, one of my mentors, her name is Dr. Chris Myers. She was a teacher back then, and she told me, you're a leader. You're gonna be someone, and you're gonna come back and help the tribe. And when I was away at college, she wrote letters to me and was just checking in on me and saying, I'm just touching base. And how you doing? And she's a doctor in education. She has her doctorate in education. And as I said, to this day, she's still my mentor. And I really treasure that.
Well, and it made a difference, right? Like
yes.
You kept getting those little notes, and they're inspiring you to keep moving. Because I think that's part of the problem where people lose their drive, right? Like they lose the wind in their sails, and they're like, oh, it's just taking too long. But it's like when you get those little constant drips of influence or motivation or inspiration, it really does kind of push you along the lines. And it's like, I can make it through this.
We need that. We need that.
100%.
Yes.
So you're getting these messages. You have a mentor for life, and you have in your mind that you want to be a leader. You're being told that you're going to do that. And so you go away for school, aka you went to Eastern, but you also went to Idaho.
I got my MBA from University of Idaho. Mm-hmm.
So you go, you get this, you graduate, and then what? What does that look like? What is the story like of coming back?
Well, I did, while I was getting my bachelor's at Eastern, I did check in with my dad. As I said, he's always been a tribal leader.
Sure.
And I said, Dad, I'm interested in coming back to work for the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
What areas are thriving? And I'm interested in business and development. And he mentioned to me at the time, this was like, years ago, 35 years ago or so.
Yeah.
He said that.
I thought you were only 37.
That's not true.
You look amazing. Keep going.
Thank you. It was our planning department, our tribal planning department. And so I got in right when we hadn't even had gaming before.
Mm-hmm.
So I got involved. I met with the planning director, and this is while I was still in school,
Mm-hmm.
and said, hey, I'm interested in working with you possibly. What does it take? What classes should I be taking to come work in the planning department? I'm interested in economic development. And so he kind of gave me some tips and some advice and I got to know him.
Uh-huh.
And that set me in a pretty good position to when the economic development planner position opened. I had already some insight in there. And so I interviewed and got the position after I graduated and came in and worked in the planning department as an economic development planner and got involved in the very beginnings of gaming.
Okay.
We didn't even have any type of gaming.
Yeah.
The Coeur tribe didn't even have any type of gaming. And so the tribe put together a committee to review whether or not we should get into gaming, the pros and cons of gaming.
Absolutely.
And I was on that committee, fortunately.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I truly know why we got into gaming. And one is that for two main reasons. One, to generate jobs, because at that time we had little jobs. There were seasonal jobs, but a lot of people had to leave the reservation to find jobs, to find work, especially if you're educated.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was hard to keep our educated tribal members because they had to leave to find decent jobs. So provide jobs, and then two, generate revenue for tribal social programs.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud to say that we have accomplished both those two main goals and then some.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I really want to tap into that, but before I do, I want to tap the brakes and just say that you did something that I think a lot of our younger generations don't do, and you took initiative, and that was that you were driven enough to go ask for a job. You were driven enough to go, I don't want to say interview, but like you asked curious questions like, hey, first to your father, but then also like if you got into that development program, it's like you went out, you put yourself out there and you were like, hey, I'm interested in doing this. You kind of knew what you wanted and you were kind of driving your own car. How was that scary? Or you knew that you were confident enough to be able to do that? Because a lot of people and a lot of kids are afraid of like hoping that the job just falls on them, hoping that they get the job and not willing to do the hard work that's required. And it's not that hard. It's just you had to go ask, right?
Yes.
You had to be curious. Was that difficult for you, or was that an easy drive because you were motivated that way and confident?
It was difficult, and I was curious. I was doing research. I did research as far as, what do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I asked my father, like what areas are kind of thriving and progressing within the tribe. And so asking those questions and just exploring options. And people really do appreciate when you are interested or you see someone who's motivated and someone who has some drive.
Mm-hmm.
And to give them that little assistance, is very fulfilling as well. But just to show interest and drive, people appreciate that. Someone comes to me and I can see that they are engaged and they want to progress and they want to move ahead. And, I'm happy to help and I'm excited, especially in our young people, for them to be curious and interested and motivated. That is so, fulfilling. And for us and we need to be cognizant of that.
Absolutely.
And watch for that.
Well, but it's a great reward for you when you do see them progress and move up into corporate or even just like get promotions or even move out or go to school, and it's like it makes you feel proud that maybe you helped them get there. when you see someone who's curious, how do people usually approach you? Is that obviously within your work environment, that's one thing, but within the tribe, within family members, like how do people come up and ask you as a woman of influence, when someone approaches you and asks you, I want to be like you, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you answer that? What are the hopes that you see that person takes from that conversation?
Definitely be open and be supportive and try to provide a safe environment. Well, let's get together. Let's talk. And I do have an open door policy as CEO. And so anyone, whether it's a guest, an employee, tribal member would like to come to me and talk and discuss maybe issues or they're looking for a job or they want to know why we're doing whatever we're doing. And so I encourage them to come to my office and, and meet with them. But I think it's important just to provide be supportive, provide a good environment to kind of build trust and let them know that you are interested and you do want to help in any way.
Well, I would say that because I've been at the resort, and I see how everyone works with you and how everybody communicates with each other. And you have other colleagues that like hug each other and like you give high fives and you're just so positive and optimistic. And it's like seeing that's the epitome of what a place that I would want to work at. And it's just the environment and the community is just, it's beaming with happiness. It's like, wow, there's actual love here. Yes. And it's like, there's relationships there that people care about each other. And it's like, you could see that. I mean, as soon as I walk in, you feel welcomed and like you belong and you're doing something right, Laura. Yeah, and I just love that. Is that something that's taken some time to create or it's always been there?
I think it's very organic in that as a tribe that we're known for being friendly. And as tribal people, we're friendly. We open our homes and you come to eat in our homes and provide good food, a warm smile, and just very friendly and warm and inviting. Our tribe is known for that. And so we took those same values and that feeling of just providing comfort and warmth to our business. And so when we open our doors, and I've been there since inception, 32 years now, and had the great opportunity to be there that day one and been there ever since. And I've seen and felt and understand truly that we came in with 96 employees as a family. And we just had a lot of hope and opportunity. We knew there was hope and opportunity with this gaming establishment that we opened in 1993. We were very excited. And it was like a family. We're all just like, we had, stars in our eyes and we're all excited. And we were a family. We still are a family. Yeah. It's much more challenging now. We have about over 850 employees. But the basics of just providing that warm, friendly atmosphere, and we call it welcome home. And it stemmed from traditional tribal hospitality to where provide a warm smile and make people feel comfortable. Yeah. And not only in just gestures in remembering their name, but also in the environment, just some of the architecture. We have, there's woods, just warm colors, and there's wood within our design. And it's just kind of more cozy and warm and inviting, our casino. And so there's that as well. And then you step outside and you have the beauty of those tall pine trees, the rolling Palouse Hills, the Bitterroot Mountains in the back, and the lakes there too as well. So we're just surrounded by beauty.
Well, and even getting there is beautiful too. Yes. It's not like in Vegas where you're going casino to casino to casino and there's all these stoplights. It's like your whole entrance to getting to the casino and the resort. It's just you relax right away. And it just from the moment you're on the freeway getting there, it's an amazing environment. So
it's our brand, but we have incorporated our tribal values into our business. And I think in our founding, our CEO, Dave Matheson, who's no longer with us, bless his soul, he opened the doors and he provided just that warmth. And he spoke to us with great vision and conviction and told us that we mean so much to the tribe, and speaking to tribal members as well as non-Indians as well, that everyone, that we are here, we have a purpose, and that is to take care of our next generations to come. and we're part of that great effort.
Absolutely.
And so he just spoke eloquently and just provided that vision and a direction and kind of set the tone. And so I was there and I just, loved his words. We lived and breathed, those words and those values. And as the current CEO, I try to provide that environment and that culture.
Well, you were a sponge.
In
You
our
were around
workplace.
him and you were picking up, and he was one of your greatest mentors.
Yes.
Right?
And growing up with my father, as far as a tribal leader, I knew like our purpose is to look out for the next generations to come, take care of our tribe. And our tribe does that so well. We take care of our seniors, our elders, our youth, and looking out for next generations. So there's a purpose. And there's an intent. And so every Tuesday we have our orientation. We have new employees coming in. And me and our CFO go and speak to the new employees and tell them the story, that how much they're valued, how much they're needed, that we have a greater purpose than ourselves. But then we need you, and we support you, and we appreciate you. And we want you to stay.
and that they can make a difference.
Yes.
They can give back, and then also raise other people up in the ocean. But I see now why that hit home so badly when an employee told you that it's just about the money.
Yes.
Because that's the absolute opposite of what you're trying to achieve. And so that I can see how that hits. I want to go back really quick to the grassroots of starting, because you were lucky enough or crazy enough to jump in at the very beginning, and depending on how you look at it. But what an opportunity for you to be in the position to be at the very beginning. How did that feel? Did you feel confident that your voice could be heard at that point, or like you were right out of college? Like, how did that transition go? You felt like a family with 93, 96 people, and like, was your voice heard at the beginning? Like, did everybody look to each other and it was a brainstorming and a mastermind group that made the casino resort like become what it was? Like, what was that like at the very beginning for you to get into?
Well, I was very young, and I don't think people really listened to me at the time. And but it was a very supportive environment, and I started out in promotions. And bingo, we start with bingo, and kind of grew and matured in my at the casino, at the bingo casino. And I think it was like 2 years into operation, then we introduced machines, and then it just kind of boomed from there. And it's just been a blur ever since. But as I said, it's always been supportive environment, kind of family oriented. As far as my career, I think you had a question, or you had a topic of what's your no.
Yes,
if you
that is the whole topic.
I don't mean to jump up there. Yeah,
So what was maybe your hardest challenge for you jumping into the CEO position? But it's like maybe you had a very hard challenge right when you started. Like what has been some of the hardest challenges of you stepping into the tribal gaming and becoming the CEO?
I did try 3 times for my position, and
to be the CEO.
Yes, to be the CEO, and I failed 3 times, and I didn't get it till the 4th time. The first time I tried, probably about maybe 13 years into working at the casino, and then someone said, "Oh, the position open. Are you going to apply?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure. Just." Why not?
Why not?
Yes. And so I applied. And at the time, I just had my bachelor's degree and, 13 years experience. And I thought, so I threw my hat in there and I didn't get it. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't get it. I didn't think I'd get it anyways. And then I had more and more people come up to me and say, well, you should apply again. And this is probably like 6 years down the road further. And so I got a little more serious. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to apply again.
When you applied the first time, and you kind of doubted yourself, like,
yes.
I don't think I'm going to get it. Did you learn anything when you did not get it? Like, obviously you're about to say something about like, oh, this could be this, but like when you were rejected and you didn't get it, like, did you just tell yourself like, I'll try again, or what made you try again?
Just people coming up to me and saying, you should try again. I do think that you would do well. And then I started thinking more seriously about it. And I thought, do I really want this? And what could I do? And, what could I do better? And I know that there are some issues. Maybe I could help out in that regard. Maybe I could do this. And so I had a little more confidence, went back in and applied again. And I didn't get it. The second time, I'm like, ooh, I think I can do this and I want to do this.
But it hurt still. Like you kind of wanted it then and you felt like.
Yeah. And then so I went to, I talked to the people who hired, which is our tribal council. And so I went to one of the members. And I said, what do I have to do to get this job? What am I not doing correctly? And
that is golden.
Yes. And then so they said, well, all the applicants, they have their master's in business administration and you don't. And I said, well, I have all this experience. They said, well, they have some experience, but then they have their degree. We need someone who has that degree. Oh, okay. That's simple, right? No, no.
Just go get an MBA.
Okay. And I had been out of school for 20 some years. Yeah. I had I raised my two daughters. And at the time, I think I was single and I had my daughter was still in school. So the thought of going back to school, it was scary and intimidating. But all the while, my tribe was encouraging me. I mentioned my mentor, Dr. Myers, and she had mentioned to me that you should be getting your master's. I also had a friend who I was working out with, and she was telling me that I should be getting my master's as well. And I didn't think about it. I'm like, I don't want to go back to school. That's lots of work.
It is. And it is work. And that is something that stops people from taking that next leap.
Time, commitment. It's scary.
And money.
Yes, money. And can I do it? Am I intelligent enough to take this on? And so I got serious about it and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And I just jumped in. And fortunately, I have great support that helped out with my children. And as I said, Dr. Myers, she is the director of the education department. And so she was very supportive. My workout partner said, you can do this. And so I started my MBA program. And I remember my first day and I was driving back, and I was in tears because I was like, I don't think I can do this. Oh. And I was crying and I called my sister and I said, I started school. It's my first day. I don't think I can do this. There's so many smart people in there. And I've been out of school for so long. Oh my gosh, I'm even struggling with Excel. And and I was in tears and she was telling me, you can do this, just hang in there. And then I did. And the last day of my classes, I was ready to graduate. The last day I left class and I was driving back home and I was in tears, but they were happy tears because I did it.
That's a full story.
I did so it.
Great.
Yes. And I called her up and I said, I did it. And there were happy tears. And she says, I knew you could do it. And so I got my MBA and I went back to work and I applied and I said, I got this. I'm ready. Bring it on. And I didn't get it.
Oh,
I did not get the job.
A third time.
The third time. And that hurt really bad. And
because you had done everything that you were told that you needed to do.
This is not fair. I deserve this. And I worked hard. I have experience. And I got my MBA. And I was very upset.
And you're still working there too.
Yes.
Okay. So it's like you're having to go into work and you're not getting the position, which is another pride thing, right?
Yes.
Like to have to go back to work and say, I didn't get it, it hurts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I was very mad. So I just allowed myself to go through those feelings. I was very mad. I was sad. I thought it was not fair and really had to adjust my thinking, kind of get in a different mindset to come back to work.
Yeah.
But I did. And I just thought, okay, maybe it wasn't my time. And I'm just going to keep on, I'm truly vested into my casino. And I love my casino, my tribe, and I invested all my time. So I'm just going to continue to do the best job I can do in my capacity that I'm in, which I think was marketing director at the time. And so just brushed myself back off, went to work and, put on that smile and just said, it's not my time. So I'm just going to just do the best job I can do.
Yeah.
Then the position opened up again.
Why does it keep opening up?
Well, and I know it makes it sound like it's like every year this is
Right,
happening,
right.
but we've been open for
Over time.
32 years.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
over, probably half that time, the position. There's the CEO positions range from 3 to 5 years
Mhm.
as far as contracts,
Mhm.
contracted position. So Dave Matheson was CEO for many years, and then he left, and so the position opened up, and then the other CEO was there for like I think another 3 years or so. It opened up, and it's not as condensed
So it's
as
just
I'm
changing
trying.
over time, but
Yes,
it opens up. It's not like all of a
yes,
sudden
this is over
attrition rate is
32
like,
years.
sure.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. So the position opened, and I finally got it, but I felt very prepared.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me, okay, so it opens and it's not like you opened the paper and you saw it came across your desk, let's say, and you
Yes.
saw that it was opening or you heard through the grapevine that it was going to open up again. You had not gotten it 3 times. It hurt. And what was the catalyst that pushed you to try one more time?
Because I really wanted to be CEO. And I envisioned it and I spoke it. I wrote it down and I told myself over and over again that I'm going to be CEO. And that was why I finished my MBA and I went in there and I told them that I want to be CEO of Coeur Casino and I need to finish my degree. And then I was just living it, breathing it every day. I want to be CEO. And I wrote it down, envisioned it, strategized how I'm going to get it. And so when I open up, yes, I'm going to apply. Yes, I'm going to incorporate all that I've learned from being there for 30 some years, but also what can I do to take it to another level?
What
How will I
value can you bring in?
the team
Yeah.
together? What skill set do I have and share that. And so I knew and I really wanted it bad and I felt ready and prepared to take it on. And I had been interim CEO a couple of times before that as well. So kind of got a
So you had
little
the skill
taste,
set, you had the
taste of it
experience.
as well. And so I thought I can do this and I'm going to do it.
Okay, so then you go and you apply and then you do get it.
Yes.
Who was the first person you called?
Oh wow.
It was not me.
My husband, my daughters, my dad, and I really did. I tried to relish things, really, appreciate
Yes.
things, and so I really took it in. I recall going up to we had in our event center we have like where the audio visual is, and you can overlook the event center, and it's kind of dark. And I went in that room and I just sat down and I just said, Lim Lamch, Creator. This is something that I always wanted and I strived for, worked hard for, and just took it all in and just said, feels great. This is good. And then there was an office, our CEO office. I didn't move into that office till after like a week or so, almost maybe a couple of weeks, just because I just wanted to really appreciate what that office meant, that position meant as CEO.
Okay.
And I stayed in my marketing director office and I just kind of said, I'm not ready yet. I just want to relish this and really appreciate what that signifies and what it means to be in that office. And really took that in. And I think that's good and that's important to do that. And I try to practice that.
Yeah.
And I think that was helpful too as well. And then I told the executives that too as well. I'm not, because they're like, why is she not moving in her office? We have it all ready for her. And this is kind of weird. And so I told them, I said, no, I really respect that office. And I wanted to message to them too, the value that I put into this position and what it means.
It wasn't the title. It wasn't just the chair in the office. It was more than that.
Yes, yes. And so really took that in and relished that experience.
That is a fantastic story. And I love that all I'm hearing is that you had this confidence team behind you, this group of people that supported you ever since you were a kid. But then at the same time, it's especially keep going and keep applying because you can do that. I heard you say that you didn't want to do the hard work. It hurt, but you knew in the end that you needed to do that in order to achieve the goal that you wanted to achieve. And then you also you just took it, and when you did not get it, it was like, okay, but I can still make a difference. And so you kept going to work. And another part that I heard that I love, that, and Anna Matseo, the director of Wobie, she didn't get the director's position for, I think, 4 times either, but she knew that she could do the job because she had done the interim. She didn't have the title and she didn't have the pay, but she knew that she could do the job because she'd already been in that position. She's already done everything that she had done. And so that boosted her confidence, and she didn't have that self-doubt. And it sounds like all of those repetitions that you were putting in for all of those years just gave you that little bit more confidence. And then for you to finally get it and then to appreciate it that much more. That's just a fantastic story, Laura. I love that.
Yes. And all the while I was maturing in age, and I think that helped as well. Much more worldly and experienced, and I think that helped as well.
Well, and it's interesting because you see a lot of young people want it now, right?
Yes.
And they don't want to put it off. It's like they expect it now, and they don't realize that most people who've achieved what they've achieved, it took them a long time to get there. It took them a lot of rejection, a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, and a lot of no's.
Yes.
And you're a prime example of that. Like, you could have given up a long time ago. You could have not gone back to school after 20 years. And that is very difficult. Like, I know, like, I've gone back and forth on that. Like, do I go get an MBA? When I was a personal trainer, do I go get a nutrition degree? Because that could help me. But it's like the sacrifice and the opportunity cost of doing it is like, it's a juggle, right? And so it is very difficult to take that challenge and then to believe in yourself that you are smart enough to do it. And then just to have this group of people that are pushing you and believe in you and know that you can do a great job and make a difference. And apparently it is obvious because everyone in that community believes that. And I mean, it shows, it shines. It's like I walk in and I see you and you have this halo over you. You have this bright light around you and people are just smiling around you, and you've done an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
I think it's important to be positive. And I try to, when bad things happen, just kind of look at that and learn from it. But, tomorrow's going to be a new day. And it's not the worst, thing that I've gone through. So I think that there's always, a tomorrow. And right now it may not be what you want or where you want and all that. But then just keep chugging ahead and showing up. And things will get better. So I think that has helped as well. So my message is never give up. You have a goal, you have a dream, never give up on that dream or that goal. But you need to put in the work, and it helps to have a plan. And also I believe in affirmations as well. Say it, do it, live it, breathe it. That helps as well.
Well, you manifested it, and it's like you wrote it down, you wrote your goal, you asked the right questions, you asked the right people what needed to happen, right? Like, what do I need? That's so terrifying. And I remember in college, I didn't do well in a class. And I remember a teacher of mine in high school said, if you're not doing well in school, go ask the teacher. They're there to help you. And so I asked, like, what could I do better? What am I missing? And she was like, you need to do better at your study at this and this. And she helped me, and I 4-0'd the class. But I might not have even passed the class if I hadn't asked, right? And so it's like being able to go up and ask the right question and be not proud enough to ask for help, and then to manifest it and just picture it and have that goal and have that plan out there. And you did that from the moment that you didn't get it the first time to the second, third, and then eventually the fourth.
On the third time when I didn't get it, after I got my MBA, I did go speak to someone. He was a motivational speaker as well. And he was good friends with the person who did get it. And so I met with him and I said, what am I not doing? What am I lacking? What areas do you think I need to work on? How can I improve? And so he gave me some good advice as well. And pretty much it was just, don't give up, be positive. And, now is not your time, but your time is coming. That was kind of the general message he gave me. And then I have, I think that if you don't know, you should ask. And if it helps to go to people who you look up to, you admire, you appreciate, whether it's personal or professional, it doesn't hurt to go up to them and just say, hey, can you help me? Or how can I make improvement? And that has helped me all along.
Well, and you're now, and I mentioned this earlier, you're now this woman of positive influence, and you have so many people who may want to be like you or achieve what you've achieved. And do you share that constantly with young people that do, especially within the tribe or with women in general? Like, and I know that you speak, and in fact, you won Woman of Impact, right? And I would love to hear that story, but I believe that was a time of, it was 200 plus women that you spoke to about women in leadership, and how like that, spreading that message that you're not alone and you can do this, because it doesn't matter what you look like or what your background is. If you put in that hard work,
Yes.
you can achieve these things. And so is that something, as a person of influence that you are now, that you enjoy doing and giving back to people?
Yes, I think that's important. As CEO, I do have executives that I work with, and I try to meet with them individually, and to just to kind of communicate with them as far as the vision of the property, but also check in with them. How are
Mhm.
you doing? And both, how are the kids, or how's the team doing? All of that, and
Mhm.
just to build that trust and that relationship, to where perhaps when if and when I have to have a difficult conversation, they don't feel threatened, and I'm there to help them, to
Mhm.
support them, or share some wins, whether it's personal or professionally, but just develop that relationship of trust and
Mhm.
respect, and offer any advice if they're open to it. And at times they'll come in and ask me some advice. So I'll, jump on that opportunity. But it's just a matter of just building trust and respect. And I think that's an opportunity to mentor, to give back as well. Other employees, I like to walk the floor and be available. And there are times to where someone will come up to me just like, hey, do you have a minute? And then a lot of times they say, well, I don't want to bother you, and I know you're busy. And I tell them, this is my job.
Oh,
My job is to be available and be supportive. Let's sit down. Do you want to meet now? Do you want to meet later? But just be available and be open. And that has given me opportunity. I have daughters and nieces, and I try to share with them and be vulnerable with them as far
mhm.
as some of my insecurities growing up,
Mhm.
and always tell them to value yourself, and that you have a purpose, and you have an opportunity just to grow and develop and to contribute for the betterment of the tribe
Yeah. Oh, and the community,
and the
right? And the
community.
community.
Yes, yes,
And I love that you mentioned that you have an open door policy at work. And I
yes,
think a lot of leaders may not believe that they don't have the time, or that their time is more valuable than being able to speak to anyone from uh, uh, let's say hosting, or anything, right? Like anybody along the business side. And but what you also mentioned, and I think this is what a lot of people miss, is that you walk the floor, and that they can approach you. You're approachable, and then you let them know that you're not wasting your time, and that you're open to talk to them. And I think that resonates with me because of my speech about find your table. It's like you have to find a platform where you can have a connection with someone and listen to their needs, and what look through their perspective, what their lenses are. And so the only way you're going to do that is being open and being available. And you do that with your open door policy. And then what you said is walk the floor. And I think a lot of leaders miss that point, because you have to be available. It's not the only time where you're walking from the office to your car, right? It's like
hmm
you have to be available, because they might not have the opportunity to come and see you in your office, right? Like that
yes,
maybe the only time that they can see you is when you're walking the grounds, or walking the floor, or walking through the restaurant or something like that. And so it's like you're just making yourself that much more available and seen, and know that you're part of it. You're not just an executive that sits up at a desk.
yes, that's so important.
Oh, I do love that. What has been something that has really, you talked about like getting into the gaming, and I really want to hit that you have accomplished both of the goals of getting into the tribal gaming, and that is to not only show growth and revenue for everyone, but then to also bridge a community of culture and bring that back. You're you did that successfully, but how do you continue to do it? How are you moving forward? Like, what are your near goals and your future goals for not only you, but for the future generations coming in, like someone coming in and possibly becoming the CEO, the next CEO? Like, what are your goals for the tribal gaming to continue growth and revenue, but then also to create that bridge and that community of everyone within that the tribe and within the area?
My goal, of course, to be successful, both financially, but also develop a culture of healthy, fun work environment, and also mentor upcoming leadership. And we are doing that. I like to do it more in a more formal manner, though, as far as an official program. So we're working on that. I'm working with HR in that regard. But we do have some shining stars that are coming up. So when I retire, I know I'll be leaving it in good hands. And so I'm very supportive of that, encouraging of some of our tribal youth coming up. I'll speak to one particular person who is our gaming director. Her name is Michelle Whaley. She's a shining star, and she's a young tribal woman.
Mhm.
And she is young, and we were apprehensive to hire her into that position. She grew into the position. And so we didn't have a gaming director for over a year. And so she came in and was working. She worked as a bench tech on the floor, and she stepped in and just says, "I can help." And she started looking at the data, learning the data, and coming to the gaming meetings. And she just grew. And so when the position opened and she applied, and we're going, okay, we're still a little apprehensive, but then I think she could do well. I think she's on track to do well, and she will be successful. She jumped in there and she took off. And she, as I said, she learned the data. She gets up now, and I'm just so proud of her. In meetings, she presents the data, talks about the strategy, speaks to vendors, negotiates contracts, and just has really grown and is already successful. And she's young. So just think, 10 years down the road, we're in a great position. And I'm very confident that she'll continue to produce and be effective as far as building gaming revenue for our tribe and for our casino.
Well, it sounds like you're just bringing on all of this talent that are unicorns and people that really believe in the values and the message, and then also giving them the ability to you give them their own wings and they fly, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
and not being a micromanager or a leader over them, but like allowing them the ability to fly. And I love that you said that, but what you also said was that she grew into the position,
Yes.
and that's exactly what you did. And does that help you be able to put yourself in her shoes, for example, of just this one talented Michelle, this individual, but like, does that help you knowing that she's kind of like you?
Yes. And Blue, the first thing she said we asked her, what are you going to do? What in your first 90 days, what are you going to do? And she says, I'm going to meet with the team, and they need support. They need attention. And we're open 24/7. So she went into those swing and night shifts. And I try to go in there occasionally as well. And I went in there on a night shift, and she was there. This is like on a Saturday night. She was there. And she was on the floor with her team, talking to guests, talking to her team. And I was very impressed. I thought, wow, she is just thriving. Look at her go. And then I was there for several hours or so. When I left, she was still there, and she was still on that floor working hard. So she walks her talk.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And her team, I already see it, and I've already heard from them. They appreciate that she works with them directly, and she's available. She's supportive. They needed that. They know their jobs, and they do their jobs well. From our bench techs, floor attendants, and managers on the floor, they know their jobs. But she jumped in there, and she was just, okay, let's talk. What do you need? What can I do to help you?
Solved it.
And whether it's personal or, are the handheld iPads, are they work functioning? Do we need to upgrade these? And she really got in there and met with the team, and they said they wanted that, they needed that, and they appreciated that. I'm very proud of her. Yes.
And I can see that coming from your facial expressions right now. But they also, and Michelle needs someone that is a leader that they can look up to, and hence your mentor-mentee relationship of like creating a program with that. But you're impactful, and you are this person of influence now. And we had mentioned earlier, you won this award. And I wanted you to share that story, because that's like a very emotional hit of pride for you to win this award that you didn't think that you were going to get.
Yes. So I was invited to speak. I forgot what the topic was specifically at this chamber event. And so I thought, okay, sure. Yes. As I said, I like to share my story and any opportunity to share. And so I said, sure, I'll be there. And I think I was supposed to hand off an award or something. I forgot what it was. But anyways, so I got there and was ready to speak about the topic. And my daughters showed up. And I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. They asked me like what time, and I let them know. My husband came in. I thought, okay, this is cool. But my dad walked in, and I thought, what is my dad doing here? Oh my gosh, this is like kind of scary. I'm going to have to take it up another notch.
You're going to have to go up 3 to 5% more.
Intimidating. Yeah, my dad doesn't usually come listen to me speak. And I was just thinking, it's like this is just a chamber thing. So I spoke, and then I ended up getting this award. And I was totally surprised. It was a big surprise. And I was shocked and very, very appreciative. And it was just a great moment. And to see my dad smile, and
does he not normally smile?
Just to see pride in his eyes. Growing up, I always wanted his approval. And then as an adult, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't need my dad's approval, but it's kind of nice.
It feels great.
Yes, but then I used to strive for it. And then so I tried to make that healthy adjustment as far as I don't need to have his approval. I'm an adult now. But it was great to see pride in his eyes. And then my husband, my loved ones were there to share it with me. And it was a great honor. And then to have a room full of women there too as well. And not that I don't like men. I love men as well. But it was just a great moment. And like I said, I tried to just really take it all in and enjoy it. We had photos taken, and I had my award in my office, and that was a great achievement. And to be recognized by your peers in front of your loved ones is amazing.
Oh, that's golden, Laura. And I think that's so special, because I can see that with everyone that's there and within the tribe, and they just look up to you, and I see it, you giving back. And you're just so giving with your time, and you're so giving with your knowledge and experience, and being able to explain to people like, I've been in your shoes, and just to not give up. And your message today was absolutely amazing. I love it. And thank you for being a part of that. Where can people find out more about the casino resort, and where can people find out more about you and connect with you?
We have our website, cdacasino.com, and I am on LinkedIn. And so you can find me there. And we have a beautiful resort. Did you know that we were the first in the nation to open after COVID?
I did know that, and I had mentioned I have notes, and I never ever use them. So as a heads up, but
I have notes too.
Yes. Tell me about that really quick. You were the first, because you were like, okay, everything was closing down, but you went above and beyond, and you set up where I think we can do this, and we can do it safely.
And it wasn't me, just me. I got the position, my CEO position, in 2019, October 2019.
Perfect timing.
Yay, excited. I got great things to do. And then boom, 2020 hit, COVID hit. Oh, that's a bummer. And we were closed. We had to close. We were thinking we were going to be closed for 2 weeks. And we were closed for 6 weeks. But I'm so proud of our tribe. Our tribe is amazing. I mentioned that we always go back to our value. At that time, nobody had any answers. No one was given any direction, because nobody knew. There was just uncharted territory.
Absolutely.
What do you do with this COVID? And so the tribe reflected back to their values as far as we need to take care of ourselves, our people, our seniors, our youth, our community. And so they put together a committee the tribal leaders put together a committee comprised of medical professionals, the business leaders, such as myself, and tribal leaders. We had the schools there, educators there, and all got together, and we had data to look at. The data within the state, nationwide. I mean, it was just horrible. People were dying. The data to where there's a lot of people who were very sick. And our data wasn't as bad in our North Idaho area. And so we monitored that data. Our medical officials, they monitored that data and said, it's not as bad as it is, nationwide. And I think it helped that we were in a rural area. We're not in a big city to where it's very difficult to, have that space and not spread the disease. But we, the committee we met weekly, and we were shut down, decided to shut down for a couple weeks, we thought. And we were going to pay everybody while they're off, including their medical. And so that was a big decision as well. But we did that through the committee. And all the while, we were looking at protocols. What can we do after 6 weeks, which we're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money going out. The tribe relies upon that revenue. The data shows that we're not as bad. With protocols, we could open. It's important that we be safe. And so we got protocols, and actually we got a hold of a Wynn document, the Wynn Casino. They had like a 300-page document of protocols. We went through that and modified it, and through our medical officials, we did a walkthrough of the casino. And so we decided this is the way we could open in a healthy way, a safe way. We had the masks, and we had where you can take your temperature and all of that. We adjusted our restaurants, our gaming floor, cleaning measures, went through all that. And so but it was so important to provide a safe environment. So we met with our employees often, kind of reassure them this is safe. They had to trust that we're doing the right thing. It's very scary because, we're bringing in people still, but we're trying to do it in a safe way with protocols. And so we were able to do that. We were the first in the nation to open. We knew all eyes were on us, so we'd be very careful. And I can be proud to say that we had no outbreak whatsoever. We did it in a great and safe way. And it was sure nice not to have any competition for a while. We made some good revenue there. And then there was a little bit of backlash. People were saying, oh, you're greedy, you're risking people's lives and you're not being safe. But we were very strict with our protocols. We were very careful. And we had people calling us from all over the country, even from Australia, California, asking how we did this, what protocols are in place. How did you, we had some crazy things that we never, even considered that we had to make adjustments to, such as our sewage plant, our MBR plant. When we were closed down, we had to, because there's like these organisms, and then they eat up all the bacteria and waste and everything.
I never thought we would discuss this, but yes.
I know, right? Well, me either. And then, so we had, somebody's got to go in and flush all the toilets. And by the way, someone has to go feed those organisms because they're not getting anything with no people around. So we fed them rabbit food and just crazy stuff like that. And then we had to figure out, we're closed down, but still we need security. We need some surveillance, basic, just to make sure to stay open. And then, yes, someone needs to go flush the toilets and all of that. So it's just crazy times, but we prevailed. And as I said, I'm very proud of our tribe. We have persevered. We have gone through a lot, and we got through this in a good and great way.
Well, and you're continuing to grow. You're continuing to make a difference in the community and within the tribe. And it's a great destination. Like, it is so beautiful. And I would suggest to anyone, if you have not gone out to the casino resort, to do it, because you have an amazing golf course. You have great restaurants.
Raven Golf Club is amazing.
Yeah. And
it's number one in the state of Idaho.
It is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. And for people to experience that, I would suggest that 100%. And I'm looking forward to coming and seeing you again and to continuing our relationship. And I cannot wait to see where you continue to go and where you bring things. But then the unicorns that come up behind you and you being there for them, being that mentor, because I know you care about them, about the younger generation. And it has been a pleasure to have you here today. And I love that you opened up and you told your story, because storytelling is so impactful. And I would want everybody to hear that you can make a difference and that you are valuable. And you had so many nuggets today. And I just hope someone hears this message and they're like, if she could do it, I could do it too.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I love that. And I love you being here. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Blue.
All right, Laura. Thanks. Thank you so much for listening to Navigating No. If this episode brings you value or you know someone who could benefit from it, the best way to support the show is by sharing and subscribing. It's completely free and helps us reach more people. And if you have any questions, feedback, or guests you'd like me to interview, drop a comment while you're there. I'd love to hear from you. And most importantly, thank you for tuning in. And let's continue sharing optimism and positivity.